Alright, so I'm going to show y'all what I look for when I get on a new creek and what spots I think should be checked. Just real quick sampling areas to find out whether or not you, we know there's gold here because Central Virginia has people on, YouTube and stuff down here. So what I'm going to do, show y'all what I look for when I get to a new creek. Okay, I'm going to flip this around. On this area right here, I'm going to show y'all. Here, look. We have bedrock right here, which you can metal detect because it's already cleaned. More bedrock, which is here. And then you have this dead zone. You see it's like a little graveyard of rocks. Low pressure zone on bedrock. So, what I would first do is, see this? I'm going to, if I ain't got no metal detector, okay, this is what I'm going to do. See these little spots like this? Bang. I'm going to pop a couple of those to see if there's any gold in there. That washes down this little thing here. That washes down that little thing. So, being that it has these little grooves, just like up in Northern Virginia, see them? The gold will fall in that little groove and travel, wiggle, travel, wiggle, 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 get stuck, or come out. So it goes down, then it comes back out this way, then the gravel starts again here, you see it? So, the low pressure zone, the white water, right, where the bubbles and stuff are, is there. So what I would do is move a couple of those, move that green one, all those stones, sluice that dirt, crack that bedrock underneath, because it's only a couple inches. Okay, so here we are on a flat section, maybe like 40 feet, all the way up to the light, way up there on the top of the screen. Flat bedrock, so it becomes, the gold here travels. I'm going to show y'all how this travels. So it comes off of that little waterfall there into that, travels up, comes back around. Can't go. You see gravel sets up there? Check that gravel there. Okay, and the flat rock. Then the water goes around and cleans the bedrock. You see, metal detect that. It's only a couple inches. And we're going to walk up there. I'm going to show you what to look for. So the gold nugget travels in here, and then finds whichever one is deeper. It'll fall in it, boom, and then it'll come down. It'll go right there. Come down here. And yep. Or come down that one. Oh no. Or come down that one and jump that one. See? That's why this gravel's here. So the gravel came around there and swirled around there. Something up there breaking tree branch. Alright. And then boom, that's the gravel bar I'm standing on now. You see? It came down here, and any gravels that came in here joined with this one here and made this gravel bar here. Any gravels that shot up over this. Now look at this. This is here. This is where the nuggets will be. Little pickers and stuff. Okay? In here, under my feet. Pop those, pop those, pop those. And look. Yeah, now I'm going to tell you, I'll explain later. Here, pop those, you see? Goes up the gravel bar. Don't go digging 3 feet of gravels. Dig here. The water comes fast. This is the slow point. Anything that goes in here, just, what the hell? Any gold that's coming down, riding along this, is going to go. if a rock gets put right there. Here, let me give a good example. Oh, here, look at this. This is a quartz vein in the middle of the creek. See that? But look. Any boulders that hit this, bam, crashed into that, and any dust. These little crevices, pop that. But let me show you how this works. Crack that bedrock, right? Clean all the way up to there. Pull that out and clean it all. Yabby it up. If there's a gold in there, come to the next one right there. If the gold becomes smaller and lighter, move, and the gold was heavier here, right? And the gold was lighter there. It could be even no gold over there. But you could test it over there, but it's a lot of work. But look at how I can stick my finger in here. Probably touch bedrock. See? Crack all this. Especially this one. And that one. Right there. You're just testing now. You're just testing these. You're just popping these real quick and putting them in your pan or your bucket and then running it in the sluice. This one too, you see? Real quick. It just pops right out. Because if a rock really comes tumbling down, that stuff's gone. That's how brittle it is. You see that? This will come right up if I just wiggle and yank. Alright, so we're going to walk up this way. I'm going to show you how gold travels. These areas, look at them. That one's underwater too. And it's where all the gravel comes down this little chute. See that? Comes down. Gold can catch in there, all up over there. Comes down, all the gravel comes down this chute. And then flies out of there. And look, if you look, the low pressure zone starts on the left side of this little thing here. And then the water goes that way. And around this rock here. But you see that? All the gravel has to go between these two little spots right here. Now, let's go. 1, okay, that's what, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4, 5 feet. All the gravel goes through a 5-foot chute. So if all the gravel goes through a 5-foot chute, all the gold goes through a 5-foot chute. This pushes the water that way. That pushes the water this way. Alright, so here, this is what I'm going to show you an example of. So the water comes like this. Gold comes bouncing down like this. And falls into there. Okay? Or into those things there. Right? If a rock got stuck there, it would create a new low pressure zone on the inside. And then every time a rock gets stuck, each one of those will create that little thing. So imagine a giant inside bend like this. Comes around, and each one of those little things, the gold's dropping out on this side of the creek because we got a wall. When the water hits this, it goes and washes that gravel back up. And the water is just rushing through here, which makes kind of a alluvial fan right through here. Okay? And then that water on this side creates a low pressure zone, which is here. There's gold probably all up in there, but your heavier gold is going to be like, I think, in these rocks right here. Let me just walk over here and show you. See, we can sample this, which is right in front, see whether or not there's gold in this. Right to the right, you have these bedrocks that look like they need to be popped. Probably pop right out. Look, this is the low pressure zone right here. Water rushes down through here, comes right through here. This wall pushes the water back, creating this low pressure zone, which made this little waterfall here. Each time a rock gets stuck there, gold gets trapped inside those. Underneath that quartz right there. All the way down. And so that's the whole gravel bar right there. Over here, it's clean. You just metal detect that and clean it. But here's all the gravel. What's that, 4 feet? All the gravel goes through a 4-foot section right here. That's only like, let's see, 10, 25 feet long. All of it. Just a 25-foot by 5-foot gravel bar. All this got gold in it. Okay, so now we're at where the water comes off the waterfall. Or off of the, not a waterfall, but I guess like a drop down. Again, areas to crack. Right, oh, right there, that crack. Okay. Again, right there. Which would just be cleaned. There's not much gravel goes in there, but gold gets stuck. Since the gravel's here, it all comes in here. Look, literally, that's all the gravel right here between my feet. This is the beginning of the gravel bar, right there. Bang. Now, when it's coming down around the bend, okay, you see, look at these. Quick checks for gold. That's not even a half a pan. Maybe if you add that one, you might get a pan. Just pop that skinny one out and scrape that stuff out into that hole right there. Alright, so I hope y'all enjoyed that. That's what I kind of look for on the creek when I go gold panning on a new creek. That's what I look for in a new creek when I go out panning, and just test quick areas like that, so I know where the gold is on the creek. And then I'll show you later up here. I'm gonna walk back up the creek, or whatever, back to Frazee. So I'll show you how I utilize Frazee as a gold prospector. All right.